This thing is bagged, if you guys couldn't tell, on this gap right here. What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Behind the Wheel. We talk to the owner behind the build to see why they took this direction they did. I'm here with Maryanne in her 2016 Challenger Scatpack. Thank you for taking take up your time today. So one of the first things I really would like to know is what made you buy this car specifically?
Oh, I love muscle cars. I've always loved muscle cars. I grew up in the 70s, so I was a big into all the old TV shows with the big, loud muscle cars, the car chase scenes, you know, Bullet and French Connection. My favorite show is Dukes and the Hazzard, Knight Rider, of course.
Nice.
So I just grew up loving the sound, the speed, and I just think they're great looking cars.
So how long have you had this car for?
I've had this car for about 4 or 5 years now, 4.5 years or so.
And this is, so it says 2016, so you bought it used.
I did.
Yep. What made you buy the Challenger versus the Charger?
So when they came out with this retro look back in, I think it was 2008 with the
They started
Challenger.
bringing them back, yep.
They started bringing them back. I saw one on the road and I absolutely fell in love with that retro look. They did it with the Mustangs, you know, and I just fell in love with the look of the Challenger. The headlights got me. It just looked like
It looked mean.
It just looked mean. It looked so mean.
Yeah.
So, you know, I kept seeing them on the road, and it was just kind of always in the back of my mind. And, you know, finally, years later, I just started looking for one.
Yeah.
Not really, I wasn't really going to buy one.
Yeah, not seriously.
You know, just looking.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just go see one in person. And then when I saw it inside the showroom with the shaker on it, that was it. Oh, I couldn't sleep that night.
Where do I sign?
I was like, yeah.
Exactly.
So it got me.
That's awesome. Now, was there any kind of like thought about, you know, getting the coupe versus like, is that had anything to do with the Challenger versus the Charger? Is the coupe aspect, or just the fact
I like the fact that it had the 2 doors. I mean, I love the Chargers. I think they're a great looking car, but I don't know, to me, like a sports car should have 2 doors, not 4 doors.
I mean, if I had the money, and you know, I know Hellcats are going to be, you know, a thing of the past at some point soon. I was like, you know, obviously having that, if someone handed me money to go buy a Hellcat, I'd probably get a Challenger. I wouldn't get it because I have the Charger already. Yeah. I love the Challengers still. I love the Challengers, and I'd want to get a Hellcat in the Challenger.
Me too.
And this is not the Charger. So. Now let me ask you, have you always been a Mopar fan?
So no, I always liked Trans Ams and Firebirds. Growing up, they were my favorite car.
Really?
Smokey and the Bandit was my favorite movie growing up. My parents bought a Firebird in the 80s, and that's what I grew up in. And eventually that was my first car that I drove, was an 84 Firebird.
Nice.
So everybody knows how old I am. And then I got a 99 Firebird, and then I got into the Trans Am in 02 because it was the last year they were making them. So I held on to the Trans Am, and that had always been my sports car. Yeah. Not a very fast one compared to now, but at the time it was a pretty. At the time it was. Yeah. So it's just they were my favorite car. So and then I really honestly didn't even know what Mopar meant.
Yeah.
I didn't. I had to look it up. What's Mopar?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd seen the signs at car shows, but I didn't understand it. My dad wasn't into Mopars. Okay. He was into foreign cars, so I didn't really know much about them. Yeah. But now I do.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. The thing is about me too is like I talked to Bill in the last episode how I was more of a fan of imports when I was starting to get into cars, and then after like, you know, some evolving of just like seeing things on the road and going to shows and, you know, either being inspired from movies or talking to people, like I started kind of getting into the muscle thing. And I never, like, you know, I made a joke about it on Instagram the other day, like that I never thought I would own a muscle car, like, you know, 10 years ago. And it's just awesome because it's like you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. So speaking of that, I really want to know, this thing is bagged, if you guys couldn't tell, on this gap right here. What made you go the bagged route versus any other route you could take? Because it's clean. This thing is clean.
So I've always driven cars that were low profile, and around here, you know that it's just terrible. The roads are awful. Yep. I learned how to angle, you know, I learned how to avoid curves. Yep. And when I got into this, I wanted a lowered stance with it, but I didn't want the worry of the roads, etc.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know anything about bagged vehicles, you know, until I started going on the internet and seeing it. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I can just adjust it as I want it. Yeah, on the fly.
Yep.
So that's what got me. And then seeing it on the ground, that stance, I just love that. I love seeing the lowered cars that just drive around just barely inches off the ground. I just think that's a great look. So that got me, you know, and it's been a lot of fun. I love airing it out as much as I can.
No, and it gives the car a whole new look when, like, you from the side profile, the body lines. When a car is like lower profile, that wheel gap is gone. It just looks so much cleaner and like flowing. Like, and I love, like, I mean, obviously people have their opinions on things, but I do actually like having muscle cars. I think the muscle cars look good when they are bagged a little bit, you know, and when they're aired out a little bit. Like the Mustangs, those look really good when they're bagged too.
Yeah.
Like when you do them right, they look really clean. Get a nice wheel fitment on there. And speaking of wheels, what wheels do you have on this?
So I have the Ferrata Concave Madness ones, so they have a concave look to them.
Yeah, I know. I definitely set back.
It's almost like the inner wheel is kind of floating, like it's not attached. So I really like the look of that.
I saw that too. I thought it was actually connecting all the way out to the outside of the rim, but it's not.
It's just
it's
floating there. Yeah.
No, that's really awesome. And what do you have for tires on this?
So I have 245s. I got.
Do you have for
I forgot. Yeah, BF Goodrich tires on there. I did 245s and 275s. I couldn't go with a wide tire because then I wouldn't be able to lower it as much.
Yeah, you couldn't get as much clearance.
Couldn't fit it inside the fender.
How much else to this car have you, like, you know, gone through since you've had it? When it comes to, like, you know, the outside outer accessory modifications and stuff like that.
So I put in the Hellcat intake, which was a real simple. Just pop out the headlight. I did that. I don't know why it didn't come factory like that because it's such a simple thing.
Yep.
You know, I dressed up the engine. I had some parts hydro dipped.
Nice.
And then
did Mike do it from Mopar Rhode Island?
No, because he just started doing that, but he's really good. So I might be going back to him
hitting him
for
up
some
soon,
pieces.
probably.
Yeah,
I saw his work. It's
so
amazing.
Good. He's meticulous too,
Yeah.
so it's great.
Oh yeah.
I did a ceramic coating on the car. I had a paint correction done to it because the paint was pretty bad on it.
Okay.
It had been through car washes, probably, whoever owned it previously. There was a lot of swirl marks on it.
Ugh.
I didn't know anything about paint correction either, so I've learned about that.
No,
and how to wash a car now.
Oh yeah.
And then I did the ceramic coating, protectant, and I also did a clear paint protection film over the whole front of the car to protect it from rocks, and it makes it easier to clean too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Now the ceramic coating. Now, how often do they do the one that's like every 5 years? Is that
So
like
I did a lifetime ceramic coating. It's
really?
a Ceramic Pro.
Okay.
And then I go for a yearly maintenance of it, where they go and they kind of clean it up, and
nice.
that's
And you said it's much easier to clean too,
oh,
obviously,
the
right?
water just beads right off of it.
I thought about doing mine. I like getting a paint correction because there's some spots from like rocks kicking up us like that too. Like I look at pictures and I cry from like when I had the car a couple years ago and the front end was much cleaner. And then for me, you know, I was working night shifts, so I was driving a lot at night, so just like bugs and things eating up the front end, like, you know, it got torn up in the front. I love the tint. I love the tint. I know I talked to you recently about the tint because the tint is just like, it makes it.
And I can actually see just fine inside. It's fine.
And this is 5%?
It's 5.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
5 and 2.
The cops love it. Cops love it. I love the louvers too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that came from a muscle car 70s vibe that I really liked. I know some people don't like it.
Did your Trans Am have it?
No, I didn't put it on there. I didn't like the way they looked on the Trans Am. Not on that model. But on this, I liked it because I thought the Challenger, I thought the rear of the Challenger was kind of, not boring, but I just felt like it needed a little more.
Something. Yeah. I think it pairs well with the wicker bill too. It pairs well with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of lines now that kind of flow better. Yeah.
No, I agree.
I debadged it. I took all the badges off of it.
Yep, and I see this.
I added my own.
This was like
my own logo.
A new one.
Yes, so I had the Scatpack
awesome.
B logo on it.
That's awesome.
But I kind of liked the Murder Hornet. I thought it was a little more subtle, and then I had the.
But this thing is like, this is why I can see the direction you took with this thing. It's meant to look a little bit more mean looking.
Right.
It's not showy. It's not like flashy. It's meant to be more of like a subtle, mean looking design, and that's why I really I told you before, I think when we first met, that I pinpointed this thing out at a show before, and I'm pretty sure, I saw you had this somewhere, and I was like, that thing is awesome. I found like your page, and I was following it for a while too, and I just loved it. It just stood out to me because I love more dark colors. I love the combination. Obviously, I have the bronze, pairing with my car.
Wheels.
I love the bronze, or like almost a copper look with the dark cars. I really love it. What do you have for plans for the future for this thing? Like, do you have any like a mod list you'd love to do?
So I would love to get a turbocharger in it. I mean, that's something.
You want to go turbo?
Well, no, pro charger.
Pro charger.
Pro charger. I
Okay.
would love to get it pro charge or get
Okay.
a pro charger
Yeah.
installed. That's looking out, years. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I know there's some things you have to do with the airbox that is with the shaker. I know they're gonna move the airbox and do some things, and I'm not really sure if I want to go that route. But that would be something I'd love to do, or get it cammed and put headers in it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, those are the things.
I mean, you guys will hear it later. This thing sounds.
And that's just cutouts. Those are just cutouts. I installed electric cutouts right after the catalytic converter. So
Okay.
there's no muffler.
And that's all it is.
That's all. Yeah, you're just hearing Hemi.
So is it straight pipe out the back though? Or is it just?
I kept the exhaust factory.
You kept the exhaust factory, just the cutouts.
Yeah.
So you're basically blocking off all that, so just cutting it out, dumping it right
Exactly.
out the pad.
So when I want to quiet it down,
it's just gonna go right through the muffler,
and,
all the way back
yeah,
out.
because it's pretty loud. I mean, I like it.
Oh, I love it.
But if I have a passenger in it, you can't really converse. You can't really hear your radio.
Yeah, if my car was like just any louder, it would be probably annoying for the passenger. Like, I would love it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't care, but a little bit more of like, I mean, my car's a little bit of drone. Do you notice a drone with the cutouts when you're on the highway or something, or cruising?
Yeah, I think when you're cruising you do. When you're downshifting and stuff, there's a lot more pops that come out of it.
Oh, that's the best part, though.
Pops.
Oh, that's the best part. I love that.
Yeah, so
I should have done that with mine. I
mean,
should have done the cutouts with mine, because that way, like, you're going by a cop, you can just pop it back up. Like, oh,
it's great. Yeah.
Howdy doody, officer. Yeah. Take it easy. Yeah. Who is that? Because like when people you can hear someone screaming down the street, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go catch someone, and it's like, oh no, that car is silent. Like, no, it wasn't him.
I never even knew about them.
Yeah.
That's relatively new for me.
I've seen them before. Like I know certain cars just have like the little butterfly valve that just opens it up like that. This is an actual
It's like a little valve with a little flap that opens and closes.
That's awesome. That's really cool. As for the engine, like, you're running everything pretty much stock right now, like stock numbers, or
it's all factory.
It's all factory.
Yeah, because
so
it's
stock
still
horsepower,
under
stock
warranty
torque.
right now,
Okay.
so I didn't want to mess around with that, and I wasn't sure what would void and what wouldn't.
Yeah.
So everything's factory right now.
No tune on it?
No tune.
No tune.
No.
I might be doing mine eventually, because I know, so Dodge's warranty the powertrain warranty is like, was it 5 years or like 50,000 miles? Is that what it was?
Mine's through Toyota, because I bought it at Toyota dealership.
So did you buy an extra warranty through them?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see I think mine only had the factory warranty left over from Dodge. So like after like last year, like my 5-year warranty was done, because I'm already over 50,000 too.
Okay.
How many miles do you have on this?
35,000.
35? Jesus. Oh, well, you have a daily too. What's your daily again?
The Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the Trans Am, you just swap it back and forth.
Yeah,
so
I mean the Trans Am's just a summer car, so that gets stored away in the winter.
Okay.
And I don't drive it at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I try to drive this as much as I can if the weather's nice. As long as it's not raining, I take it out as much as I can, because I bought it to drive it.
Exactly. Like I completely agree, because people that when you get a car, obviously yes, there's cars out there that are like very, very nice cars that you don't want to rack up the miles on, but at the end of the day, what's it worth then? It's a couple $100,000 paperweight at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna just sit there and look at it. Whereas me, it's like I'm trying to find the balance of like, I want to save the miles, because I don't want to with the way things are going, I don't want to I don't want to like just get my car to the end of its life and then gas engines are no longer a thing of the past. I gotta find a happy medium about trying to drive it and enjoy it, because I bought it to enjoy it. I bought to enjoy all eight cylinders.
I'm not saving the miles for somebody else.
Exactly. I bought it for all 8 cylinders and all that it's got, and I'm gonna use it. You know.
That's right.
You know, Lord willing. So, besides the Pro Charge, do you have anything else you want to plan to do, like body-wise? You're not gonna wrap it after all the time you put in.
Oh, I would love to get it wrapped.
Really? After the ceramic coat?
Well, that's what's stopping me. But I would love to
that
do
you got the ceramic coat,
I would love that matte black look.
Matte black would look so good.
Because you don't get any reflections in your photos or anything.
Oh,
it's just such a great stealthy looking
I
look.
love matte black. But this thing, like,
that.
whenever I've seen this thing out though, I mean, you have it like.
I try.
Lost.
I try. I mean,
this thing's a mirror.
It's definitely a lot of work.
Oh yeah, of course.
Clean.
I actually, that's one of the things I want to ask you. What do you use when you're doing like your final like little wipe off at the shows? Like, what do you use for?
I try not to wipe it off because I don't want to scratch it. So I take it to a brushless car wash.
Okay.
Or I use my the.
It's just a jet.
Yeah, not the hose, the. Power washer.
Power washer.
I use my power washer.
Okay, yeah.
So I go to a brushless car wash,
off.
or I use my power washer.
Yeah.
And then I use my leaf blower, just to blow it dry. Yeah.
So like you say, because the ceramic coat,
the water will just
you don't
bead
have to
right
like,
off.
really get a lot of soap on the thing right now.
Nope.
That's the thing. Is like, I mean, I'd probably save a lot of money in soap just if I was to get mine, doing the ceramic coat.
And polishing and waxing, I mean, I used to do it once a year, but that's just so much work. And the ceramic is just so much easier. I'd rather have somebody else just
something
do that.
You can just rinse it off.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, just a rinse before a show.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like just don't dry it off with a towel because you don't need to worry about scratching. Anything that's more sediment on there, you scratch it. That's the thing I have to, I don't have anything like that, so I do have to wash mine.
Yeah.
Before shows, I don't want to bring up a dirty car. So the whole point, you go to a show.
Which gets dirty once you get to the show,
anyways. Yeah, from the highway drive from the car wash to the shows I usually go to, I'm getting dust and sand all over anyway. So, and then when you start to wipe it off, like any kind of thing like that, you're gonna start smudging or getting, well, even the wheels too, because the wheels, when we have our wheels like this style, like if any water in there, I go there and there's like rocks that are just stuck to it, and like all the sediments in there, and I'm afraid to even wipe it. I don't want to scuff the wheels. But these, I have more of like a matte looking. These are more of a glossy.
These are actually really easy to clean.
Really?
I thought they would be hard because there's a lot of little areas that look like it's difficult to get to, but everything just wipes right off.
I noticed with mine wipes off, but I think because I kind of picked more of like a budget style wheel, that I'm noticing a little bit of the paint chips a little bit here and there. So like, I thought mine would be more difficult to clean as well too. You actually have more probably nooks and crannies in this thing on these wheels than I do in mine.
But it's not noticeable though.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, if you miss a spot, no one can
yeah,
tell.
You can't tell.
Exactly, that's awesome. So the shaker, that's something that you got it as is. You didn't end the song.
Right, that came factory with the shaker.
That's awesome.
And a lot of people don't know what a shaker is. It sits on top of the motor and it moves. That's why they call it a shaker. So it moves with the engine. When you accelerate, the thing is actually moving with the engine. So when I saw those on all the old cars, and that was like the one thing that I had to have on this car was a shaker. Yeah. All
right. So what else do you actually have done to this car, like as for outer modifications, accessories to dress it up?
All right, so I did the ZL1 add-on body kit.
Nice.
I did the front splitter with the splitter rods. I also put the rear diffuser on. And then I also went around and I wrapped all the tail lights, side markers, just to kind of black it out. And I just wanted that blacked out look.
Oh yeah, it makes a difference. I mean, the first thing I did when I had my car is I smoked out the side markers because like, I wanted to go for that more mean look like you have with this thing too, like get everything smoked out and this bright orange on the side of the car. It's gonna ruin the mean look of it. Yeah, of course. And I see that you have upgraded the brake a little area.
Yeah, I painted the calipers and then I added I think the calipers that came with the factory Scatpack were just a flat gray color and it didn't really go. It just looked kind of dirty in there. So I went and I did the caliper paint and then I added the Brembo high temp decal that I was able to find just to kind of dress it up a little bit, make it look cleaner in there.
Nice.
I put the Murder Hornet overlay on the back trunk.
That's right. Yep.
Nice and clean.
That was really cool.
It's reflective too, so it reflects at night. And then I also added the wicker bill onto the spoiler, which was kind of scary to do. I actually had to drill into the factory spoiler, but it worked out okay.
Yeah, I had to get more of the matte black spoiler, so I already had to buy that anyways, and like it was like $100.
Yeah.
I didn't get, Dodge wanted like almost like $1,000 for the factory black spoiler. I was like, yeah, no.
Wow.
So I got that. So I was like, all right, you know, if I screw up the worker bill, let's get another one. But the factory one, I wouldn't want to ruin that. Yeah, of course. So I see, you guys can see all these trophies behind here. How often do you take this into shows? You know, like, I can see you got
this
a few
year I've been
here.
going weekly. Whenever I see them pop up on Facebook, I've been going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been the first time in a couple years because of COVID. There really weren't any shows or anything going on, and my car just kind of sat. I wasn't able to show it off. So this year I was all about, all right, let me just go and show off what I've done to it.
Yeah,
and
no, and that's exactly what you've done.
I've been fortunate. I've been doing okay at the shows, and it's been a lot of fun. I've met a lot of great people, and I've seen some really cool cars. So it's been fun.
That's awesome. And I know that you have an Instagram page too. It's Scatpack B.
Scatpack B.
Is it Scatpack _B?
Scatpack _B. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
that's
you
a
got
nice
some
little
good
hobby.
content. Yeah, you got a good
It's
amount of
been
followers.
fun.
Got some good content on there. People love it.
Yeah, I've been getting sponsors, and
that's awesome.
You know, it's fun to get free stuff for your car that you
yeah.
can try
You're
out.
not gonna turn that down.
No.
So as for the trophies, I see you got Best of Show. You got the Mopar ones. Is there any ones that you've been like when you've been entering it into shows that you're like wishing to get, or like, do you have Best of Show? Like,
I never thought
trophy.
I never thought I would ever get Best in Show, so that was a big surprise.
Yeah.
That was something
that's a good feeling.
That was a great feeling. Yeah, I was pretty shocked when that happened. And I got the Commanding Officers Award in Newport at the Navy base. That was something I really didn't think I'd get either. And the commanding officer was so into my car, asked a lot of questions, and he was really into it.
I voted for you for that one.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Appreciate
that. Of course. No, there was a lot of nice cars that day.
There really were.
But I had to obviously, I had to throw you the vote. I couldn't. I had to throw you the vote in there too, of course. No, I mean I haven't really entered mine into any kind of like actual. The Navy one, we all were technically entered into it, but I wasn't expecting anything, so I wasn't worried about it. I don't have this thing at like show car status where you do. Obviously, even though you said you drive it as much as you can.
Yes.
But you also have it. You have things done to it where you can still keep it very clean.
Right.
Where the ceramic coat's on there, it's not going to get.
It definitely helps.
It's going to definitely help on it. So you said you didn't do it yourself. You got it done somewhere.
I did.
You got it ceramic coated
Yes.
somewhere. Okay. Is it a local place?
They're in Franklin, Mass.
Oh, okay.
And I went with Ceramic Pro, and that actually goes onto your Carfax. So
really?
It goes with your car. If you sell your car, it's part of that record. And it also
build equity in the car.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And when somebody hit my car last year, my insurance company was required to put that back onto the car, that Ceramic Pro.
Nice.
So yeah, it's definitely.
That's right. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I remember seeing that on Instagram. That someone had hit you. Was it a hit and run?
Yeah. I was in a parking lot and I came out and the whole front of my car was just.
I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that on Instagram.
And I'm always so careful about where I park. My friends make fun of me. I walk miles to get into a store, and I come out and my car's destroyed. I have bad luck when it comes to that.
I do the same thing. I park, if I go to the store or whatever like that, I'm parking way where no one else is.
Yeah.
And because I don't take any chances. People don't pay attention.
They don't.
When
Door dings.
When you have time, I unfortunately just noticed something the other day too. I have like a light scuff from here all the way down my car. Like someone was carrying a bag and brushed up against my car. It's not like it's not through the clear coat.
Oh, good.
Like it's not all the way through, but it's enough that I'm gonna have to actually buff it out. Like I thought it was just like a mark, whatever. Someone either a stick went by it. Someone it didn't look like a carriage. But I noticed it the other day. It's probably about a 3-foot long line down the side of my car, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's terrible.
So I really think that the ceramic coat to preserve the paint is going to be worth it. Especially when I have the car for a long time. Speaking of having the car for a long time, do you ever have any plans to get rid of this at any point and upgrade to anything else, or are you going to probably keep this?
So I always thought I'd get into a Hellcat someday. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Next year is the last year. And I'm really attached to this, so I don't see me.
Oh, yeah, no, I can see.
This is my car.
I can see, yeah.
But I always wanted a Hellcat. It's just kind of a shame they're not going to be making them anymore. But I have this problem with
Come on,
when
Dodge.
yeah, I know. When I own a car, I really get attached to it,
Yeah,
and I
I'm
hold
the same
on to
way.
them for a long time. I mean,
I can see.
yeah, and that's 20
yeah.
years old, and
Yeah.
it's So I don't see this going anywhere for a while.
I really want to keep mine as long as possible and keep it on the road. I don't care what it takes. I don't want to let this thing, end up in a junkyard.
No.
Like I said, I agree with you. You get attached to something,
Definitely.
especially why we're here today to talk about why you did what you did. You put all this time and effort into designing this how you wanted it, customizing it, to the nth degree, and to just let it go. People don't understand how much of an emotional connection you have
Right.
with that car. On that note, what is your thoughts on the new electric? Have you heard the sound?
Yeah, it sounds like an electric leaf blower. It's just
It
not.
sounds
It's
like
not
a
a muscle car.
vacuum. It's not.
I think it looks really cool. I've always
I'll
liked
give it that.
the futuristic. I mean, is it going to look like that when it comes out of
Probably
production?
not.
Probably
Nothing
not.
ever-
It's going
nothing
to look
ever does.
ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
I've already seen the Dodge Hornet, and I wasn't impressed with that.
I saw that. I thought it was like, okay, it looks like a more blacked out Toyota.
Yeah, it just looks like every other car.
Mhm.
I'm not really excited about the electric. I think they're fast. I think it's a great alternative, but I want my smelly gas-powered vehicle. I want to hear it and I want to feel it.
That's what exactly. That's what I know. I was joking with my father-in-law the other day when we were listening to the noise that they were like it's revving, and it sounds like you're turning on a vacuum and like ramping up a vacuum, or like you said, an electric leaf blower.
Yeah.
Because I think, unfortunately, I feel like they dropped the ball on that a little bit. They're actually not pumping in fake audio. It's like if this is correct, that they're using the sound from the electric motor. There's almost like they're amplifying
it. Oh.
the sound of the actual electric motor, so it is a live sound.
Okay.
It's not a pre-recorded sound of a revving, but I don't know if I'm wrong, then you guys can hate me in the comments or whatever. But
That's interesting.
that's what I heard,
Okay.
possibly, that they're using that sound of the electric motor, the whirring motion of the
Yeah.
electric motor revving up, but you can't compare it to the sound of a V8 revving.
No.
Sorry, it's not. I don't think they can call it muscle. I actually made a video on my channel talking about when they first dropped the fact that they're going to be getting rid of, and they're going to do an electric muscle when they, a couple years ago, or last year when they dropped that. And I was discussing with a lot of people about how is that actually considered a muscle car? Because like you said, you grew up with all this,
Yeah, there's going to be a lot
the
of
real muscle cars.
Yeah. A
How
lot of
do you
people
call something like that a muscle car?
want American muscle. They want that. They
Mhm.
grew up with that. That's just America.
Yeah, people. They're catering to like an audience that's this
Yeah.
big, and then the rest of us here are like, what's going on?
Come on,
like,
Dodge.
Come on, Dodge. Like, what's
really?
up? Like, yeah.
They had such a popular platform, and then they're just gonna.
Yeah, let's just cut
stop
it. We're at the peak of like just. I love that. I saw a joke the other day. It was like, oh, all these other car manufacturers are like, oh, we're gonna put an electric engine, electric car. And it's like, okay, Dodge is dropping like a Hemi in this car, Oh, you got a minivan, drop a Hemi in there. Like, oh, okay. Then they're making like the Ghoul, and you got like these 1,000 horsepower. When they get the Elephant, making these big motors, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we're gonna throw a battery in a Challenger and call it a muscle car.
Yeah.
They're at like the peak of development and performance and like clientele,
Mhm.
and then they're just gonna like disappoint us all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with the direction they're taking with the company right now. Unfortunately, I love a Hellcat, like you said too.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, oh, get it while you can. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, sorry, I don't have like
Yeah,
80
the
grand to
markup,
drop right
too.
now,
Yeah.
or more, because they're gonna be like discontinuing.
Yeah.
No, it is sad, slowly losing less people that are like I said with Bill the other day too. We are still getting people, the younger crowd, getting into cars.
Mhm.
I feel like they're getting brainwashed. You're like, oh, this is a car. It's got a massive battery in it. This is like like teaching them this is what you want.
Yeah.
It's like no.
No,
Look
no,
this
no.
way. Look this way. Look behind you. That's where cars
Come
are.
listen to this.
Yeah, come listen to this exactly. Like look in the past 100 years. That's what a car is.
Yeah.
I guess all we can do is at this point is enjoy.
Yes.
While we can.
Yes, exactly.
Savor every
You
ride.
never know. That's
Savor
right.
every ride while we
Every
can.
mile.
Every mile, smiles per gallon.
That's right. That's
exactly.
right. Yep.
How much do you averaging right now?
It's not bad. It's probably like 19.
19?
Yeah.
That's about what I
19.
have too.
Yeah, I mean,
even with the bigger, like, I mean, you must not drive it too crazy. Because
No,
I've seen people online have like 13,
yeah, I mean,
14. They
Yeah,
average
I
that
don't-
because they're just on it all the
I
time.
guess I kind of baby it, so I get on it once in
Yeah.
a while, but I'm not,
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be driving this thing like it's stolen.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I wind it out when I can. Obviously, like not through residential neighborhoods. But,
Yeah,
like,
I
have
find
some
the
fun.
places to do it.
Yeah, have some fun with
Safe
it too.
spots, yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to
Preserving what I have.
preserve it.
Yes.
Exactly. You don't want to beat on it too hard.
You know, the tires are expensive, so that's always in the back of my mind, and they wear out quickly.
Yeah.
Like
The softer compound.
6,000 miles usually.
Yeah.
So I
Softer
might get a
compound
couple
and-
seasons out of them.
Mhm. Yeah, some guy the other day, I was on Fed Hill, and he was like, light them up, light them up. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, these are brand new
The amount of people
Pirellis.
that ask me to do that when I come out of car shows, I'm like, sorry kids.
Nope, not
Can't
happening.
do it.
It's like, hey, if you want to fork up the money for the
Yeah,
new
right.
rubber, sure.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, when I bought my, I got the new Pirellis on there, I'm like, no, I'm not lighting these things up. I said, my winter wheels, when I had the winter wheels and tires on, those are cheap. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'll light them up. Those are, I mean, they're thick tread tires.
Yeah.
It's easy to light them up. But like, no, yeah, I'm not gonna try to like ruin the. I got that stuff on. I want to get at least a few seasons out of them.
Yeah.
I should be able to. I mean, I only drive the car with those wheels on. Probably. It's gonna
So
be
you're
like,
switching them out too.
It's
then.
gonna be, yeah. So
Yeah.
I have a second set of wheels. I have a set of winter wheels and tires that I'll throw them on, and I'll basically it's like 6 months, for each set.
That's pretty much what I do too.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So what do you? So you have like this the stock
So I have the
wheels?
factory
Throw
ones,
the,
yeah.
throw the factory wheels.
Yeah, they're
back
all
on.
black.
Nice.
So a little bit easier to clean because I still drive this in the winter as long as the roads are clear.
I would never. I would never. You have a garage. You have a garage.
As long as it doesn't snow and there's not a lot of salt around, I'll
That's
drive
a
it
big
around.
thing, is salt in
Yeah,
England.
salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't let it sit.
I know you can't let it sit.
You gotta
but-
let it run. You don't want all
Well,
the
that's true.
gaskets to
Yeah,
dry up and everything.
I mean,
you gotta
yes,
drive it around.
yeah, starting it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you obviously gotta move it a little bit,
Yeah.
but like if I mean
Yeah.
like with
Clean
where
the
this
carbon out,
yeah, where this thing is sitting right here, I'd be afraid to drive in the winter just because of everything around. You hit like when after the plows go by, they knock up all those potholes that
Yeah.
they filled right before the season, and then get kicked up like down the rocks. I'm like, oh, cringe it. No. Hearing all that stuff like that, all the rocks picking up on the front. No, it really is a beautiful build, and I know
Thank
obviously
you.
you
Appreciate
said,
it.
yeah, no, I love what you've done to it, and I'm excited to see more things happen to it, and see it shows with, a nice beautiful wrap on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
A nice matte black wrap, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome. The Pro Charger, you said, I can probably do that for a while though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
something I have looked into. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if I want to put that much into it right now. But it is in the future. I kind of want to work on my Trans Am right now because I haven't touched that at all.
Yeah.
And I've done so much to this that I feel like I need
You're
to.
neglecting that one a
I
little
feel
bit.
like I'm neglecting her, and maybe I should do a little bit to her. Maybe take her to some shows now too.
Yeah.
So.
You don't really switch off that often with them by taking that one?
No,
instead?
because I just got that paint correction done on that. It was really bad, and I also got a ceramic coating put on that. So, and I there were a couple body things that I had to take care of.
Okay.
The body kit's popping out on the bottom. I got to take care of that too. So it's not really. It's kind of. It looks kind of beat on up close.
It's gonna need some TLC before you bring it to a show.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
why I haven't.
So I just want to say I really appreciate taking up your time today to talk to you about your build. And it's a beautiful car, and I'm excited to see really what you end up doing with it going down the road. And I appreciate you.
I'm honored that you would ask me. I think this is a great idea for a channel. I look forward to looking at more episodes.
I appreciate it. No,
And looking at more builds. I think it's
yeah.
it's a
No,
great
I'm
idea.
excited. I want people to reach out, and be like, hey, like do one on mine. Like I want the content. So if you guys are interested, if you guys are watching this and you're in the area, I definitely would love to come and talk to you about your build as well, because I want to, like I said, like Bill said before, pick people's brains and see why they do what they do. Not just obviously it's about the car, to focus on the car, but why?
Why?
That's the
I
biggest
get
question.
that, yes,
Is the why. Why did you do it? No, I really just do want to thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate
It's great.
having you come on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, check out Maryanne's Instagram, scatpack_B.
Yes.
I'll add it right below here right now. If you guys did enjoy this video, please don't forget to smack the like button. As always, follow your passion, and I'll see you guys in the next one.